I don't usually make videos based on my comment section. However, I recently received a comment which really got under my skin. The comment, which has since been deleted by the poster because I don't delete comments, was saying that this person wanted to open the first men's only martial arts gym because there are women only martial arts gyms all over the place, so fair is fair. The thing is, being a YouTube personality, I get all kinds of comments. Most of them make me laugh, some of them make me groan, but this kind of comment is just outlandish enough that I thought it deserved a proper response. So this video is gonna be different from my normal style of video. If that's not your thing, no harm, no foul. I'll be back with the ha-has next week. If you are interested in this topic, please be sure to subscribe and drop a comment down below because I know this video is gonna kill my watch time. Anyway, now I wanna be clear. This commenter wasn't saying there shouldn't be women in martial arts. He was saying because women get to train in women's only martial arts programs, in the interest of fairness, men should get men's only martial arts programs, which sounds well and good on paper, but now we need to talk about equality versus equity. Equality means giving all parties involved the same resources and opportunities regardless of their starting circumstance. Equity, however, means allocating resources and opportunities to people based on their starting circumstance. Not everything is apples to apples, and not everything that's fair is necessarily always equal. So with that in mind, remember that women are a minority in the martial arts, despite being a majority of the population. A 120-pound woman training in a room full of 200-pound men is probably gonna be treated like an equal, but her risk of injury is gonna be way higher and her ability to learn is gonna be way lower because the situation isn't equitable. To really maximize her ability to learn, she deserves to train with another woman roughly around her size. And to create this equitable situation, we create women's only martial arts classes. It's not about excluding the men, it's about being more inclusive to the women. Men are the default in martial arts training, so we don't really need special accommodation. With that in mind, let me ask you a question. Why do most people start training in martial arts? I'll give you a hint, it's in the name of the channel. Something has happened in a person's life that made them believe, for whatever reason, they need to learn self-defense. They might stay for a whole bunch of different reasons, but the reason they started was to learn to protect themselves. The thing is, most men practice martial arts recreationally. Whether they enjoy the workout, or they're making friends, or they're willingly stepping into a ring to fight another person for money, men fight for fun. Yes, even you, who says you're training for the streets, you're doing it because you enjoy it. Which means for most men, martial arts is not necessarily a need so much as a want. However, that's not the case for women. 1 in 3 women will report being physically or sexually assaulted, whereas only 1 in 4 men will do the same. And that one man is usually referring to a street fight or a drunken brawl, not necessarily an assault by an intimate partner. That's not to say that a woman can't enjoy fighting or martial arts training, but for the overall population, there is a bigger need for personal protection, whereas men tend to do it for fun. With all that in mind, it really should be a no-brainer why we have women's only martial arts programs. Being a minority, when your attacker is likely to be a man and you have a higher need to learn to protect yourself, the solution presents itself. Now, it's important to note, we're primarily talking about women's only classes and not women's only gyms. Because despite what you might believe, there really aren't that many women's only martial arts programs in the US. I worked at one, and I know of a handful of other ones, but by and large, they're extremely rare. Reason being, martial arts is a niche business. Only 10% of the US population is currently training in the martial arts. So, opening a gym that caters to less than 50% of that is a very bad business idea. Now, obviously women's only gyms do exist and it can work, but by and large, it's not a great idea. On the other hand, having a co-ed gym that also offers same-sex only classes can be a very good idea. Because here's the thing, men don't have that many hesitations about walking into a gym. We tend to not care too much about grappling around on the floor with somebody or getting hit too hard or being leered at while we're trying to get a workout in. As you can imagine, those are all very real problems for a woman. So, if a gym is proactive and creates a situation that mitigates those reservations, they're actually expanding their potential client base. To put it simply, men will always walk into martial arts gyms. Offering a women's only boxing class will never turn a man away, but could grant you a whole new population of people to train with. But the commenter was saying he wanted to create a gym that was free of false allegations and the energy women bring to a gym. We'll talk about that second half of the statement in a second, but for right now, let's talk about false allegations. First of all, they don't exist. As in, according to one report, less than 6% of all assault cases actually end up being false allegations. At 6%, that is barely a risk. You're more likely to shit your own pants than you are to be falsely accused of sexual assault. The thing is, accusing someone of sexual assault is costly. And I mean literally costly. You have to take time off of work while also hiring a lawyer to then go to spend day after day in court reliving that moment over and over again in front of your would-be attacker and a room full of strangers. For most people, they're not going to go through the trouble if they aren't absolutely certain they were sexually assaulted. But okay, let's say we're not talking about formal cases of sexual assault. Let's say instead we're talking about a woman going to her instructor or a group of friends and saying X, Y, and Z person was acting inappropriately. That could result in them being ostracized from the community or that person being kicked out of the gym. Fine, maybe that's a problem too. But like I said, that's less than 6% of all cases. Actually, on that note, here's some free combat self-defense dating advice. Leave the women in your gym alone. Don't hit on them, don't DM them. Be nice, make friends if you want to, but don't show any interest beyond being their training partner. This will make you look disinterested and aloof. And if you have the added benefit of choking out the other men in your gym, you'll look like the most powerful male. Then, if they're interested in you, now they're put in a position where they have to reach out first. They won't because they're not actually interested, but at least you're covering your ass. Now, in the interest of full transparency, yes, my primary training partner is my girlfriend. We started dating within the context of us training together. But we had already been friends for years beforehand, and I didn't ask her out until it was abundantly clear to me, to her, and to everyone around us that we were into each other. I'm not one of those people that believes you should never date someone from your gym. It's risky, and you should be aware of the power dynamics at play, but where there's a room full of people with shared interests, 2 or more of them will start dating. What's important is understanding who is interested in dating whom. The girl who's just nice to you because you trained in the same room together a month ago isn't into you. Leave her alone. Regarding the second half of that statement, about avoiding the energy women bring to the gym, the problem with speaking in vagueness and generalities is there's no way to qualify what a person means with that statement. I'm assuming the commenter is talking about his ability to say something stupid and then get called out on it by a woman, but I can't know that for sure. However, I do know that a lot of men feel restricted by what they can say when a woman's around, so I'm gonna assume that's what he meant. Here's what I've learned in my day. As long as you build rapport with somebody, they usually let you get away with whatever you want to say. Now, I'm not saying you should be allowed to say whatever stupid thought comes into your head, but as long as you build trust with your training partner and teach them that you're a good person with a good heart, they'll usually laugh along with whatever offbeat thing you have to say, man or woman. If you build that trust, you can exercise that trust. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, is what I want to say appropriate for me to say at the gym? Remember, martial arts gyms are places of vulnerability. Both men and women are putting themselves in positions where they can be seriously hurt. So, to trust that they're not gonna get hurt, they have to trust all of their training partners. And if you're saying some stupid shit that makes them feel uncomfortable, they're not the problem, you are. So, show respect to the gym, show respect to your partners, show respect to yourself. The final thing the commenter said before he deleted his thread was that he wanted to create a space where men could clear their heads and focus only on their training. Look, if having a girl in your bag class is so distracting that you can't even focus, get better focus. That's your problem, nobody else's. I can think of only one group of men who need a female-free zone, and those kind of men don't need to be training how to hurt people in the first place. And the thing is, women's only classes will go away. More and more women are signing up for martial arts every single day, which means eventually they will make up 50% of every class. And when they make up 50% of every class, and women see themselves being fairly represented in the martial arts, there won't be a demand for women's only classes. Being reactionary and creating a men's only class only ensures a bigger division between men and women, makes women feel more excluded, and services a demand that doesn't really exist. TLDR, keep your eyes to yourself, and cooties aren't real.